What's going on, everybody? I am your boy, Jersey. We are back. I see Dr. Keys is in here early as trailer visuals. Melissa is in here early. What's going on? We are back. I am your boy, Jersey, and we are back with another episode of Black Culture, The Breakdown, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on my Instagram Live.
Yes!
Okay, so today is all about fake news or versus plastic bodies. We have a lot to talk about. The legendary Melba Moore just entered the building. What up, Melba Moore? We got a lot to talk about. All right, so just so y'all know, Black Culture The Breakdown is an infectious show bringing you everything in movies, politics, and of course, everything culture. All we're doing is trying to push the culture forward, so we're going to get the show started and get this conversation going. Let me see if I got Mr. Gospel Artist Entertainment on the live.
Yes!
Oh, he's not here yet? Okay, let me just see. Just wait on. It's not here yet. Gospel Artist is not here yet.
No!
So in the meantime, what we're going to do is see what everybody's having. And what's up, Melba? What are y'all having? Today I'm going to just have something real light in my cup today. And we have a lot to talk about. And we really are going to be tapping into these conversations that I feel like sometimes we shy away from.
Yes!
Dr. Keys is in the house tonight. Dr. Keys is all about, he's a celebrity plastic surgeon fellow, all right? So he's going to break down to us what BBLs are.
Yes!
Let's get into it early. He's going to break down for us what it is that we need to do to make sure our skin stay flawless.
Yes!
And he's going to get into who out here is fraudulent with fake bodies, but they don't want us to know.
Yes!
I'm just playing. It's not going to get that messy. Or maybe. But we also got Miss Melissa in the building. Listen up. She is a correspondent for the Today Show, okay?
Yes!
Also a correspondent for E! News.
Yes!
Y'all ever seen Pop Daily? I have. You seen any clips from that?
Yes!
She's been on there. She's a super dope woman, and I can't wait to get into conversations with her as well and talking to everything media and what she's doing in the entertainment industry. Now, let me see if my boy Aldrin McCullough is on the live and ready to... Okay, Aldrin, you're still not ready yet. No problem. So, everybody, what y'all have for dinner today, all right? He says, you trying to start a fight? I'm not starting no fights. No fights today, but we definitely going to be having these real conversations. We got a lot to talk about. It's Black Culture The Breakdown Season 3, Episode 2.
Yes!
Okay, we are definitely turning it all the way up, because that's what it's about. Let's get into this, there we go. Let's fix that. Let's get into this conversation, these topics, all right? It's definitely important. Ladies, how much of y'all been thinking about getting plastic surgery? Tonight is the night to ask your questions. I'm telling you from now.
Yes!
Ladies or gentlemen, how many of y'all was trying to get into media? Well, guess what? Tonight's the night. Better get into it right now.
Yes!
It's a lot going on in entertainment. Let's start off with Mr. Orlando Brown, okay? If y'all not sure, y'all don't know who Orlando Brown is, you guys know that he's from That's So Raven. And he played pretty much Raven Simone's best friend on the show. Everyone knows that he's been going through a real rough time, and he's been doing everything that he's been trying to do to stay out of trouble, and it kind of wasn't necessarily working for him. But let me pull this up. Boom. So, if you guys don't know, Gospel Artist Entertainment, Mr. Aldrin McCullough actually makes these, but when he comes back on, we're going to actually jump into these topics. But it says right here, Orlando Brown defeats addiction in a faith-based facility treatment. Let's get into this. He was on Disney Channel. How do we feel, or do we feel like this is something that's permanent? Do we feel like this is something that he needed to do? Yes, Orlando just got saved. That's what he says. Do we think that this is real? Is this media attention? What do we feel? How we feeling? Or can somebody in this day and age, in this social media age, can really be changed and going through something and everything be not for gimmicks? Could we believe that everything that he went through not be for media attention? Or is that too hard to believe?
No.
Questions. Oh, I see Gospel Artist Entertainment's on the live. Ooh, we're about to get the conversation started. Gospel, you made it right on time. Let's get you on here. All right. Let me see it. Boom, boom, boom. Let me add him. But up those questions. Let's give Algin a call. What up? There you go.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? It's good to see my brother on here.
It's good to see my brother on here. Okay. Melba just said only God can judge. We will see in the future. That's really dope. And I absolutely agree. I'm gonna put it right back up. Aldrin, first of all, everybody, we got Aldrin McCullough from Gospel Artist Entertainment right here, the largest gospel media platform in the world, if y'all ain't know.
Yes.
Okay. Aldrin comes on here. Welcome back to season 3, and we already in the topics, but I want you to just get back on track and get you jumping in. You ready?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it.
Let's definitely do it. So, how do I do this? You know, this is new, Aldrin. How do I get the pictures back up here? Like,
You know, Auntie Melba said I declined. No, I did not decline you, Auntie Melba.
she said she declined. Auntie Melba.
She said I declined her on my live. I did not.
She's been stunting. Tell her that she don't want to come on there and really sing. She need to.
That is fake news. That's what that
is. I need to figure out how to get this picture back up here. I ain't putting all that for no reason. Hold on 1 second. We're going to get this together. Aldrin, how do you get the pictures back on here?
I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure.
Why is Instagram? Yo, this is what the stuff I'm talking about. Can we figure out our own platform? We need our own platform where we can put up and we can do whatever we want to do and showcase what we want to showcase in our own
time. We do. We need it.
Okay?
We need our own platform.
100% facts. In the meantime, though, let's talk about Mr. Orlando Brown and him giving his life over to God in a faith-based recovery center. I know he was going through a real rough time. But
man.
Give us your thoughts on that, Aldrin.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. Yeah, man. First of all, so we all know Orlando Brown from the hit show, That's So Raven. He has also played in other shows or whatnot, and so, but he's mainly known for That's So Raven. And so Orlando Brown has been in the news for a lot of things. Mainly because of the negative side that he has portrayed on his life, and it's very unfortunate. But I believe that everything that he has went through, it allowed him to be able to really examine his life and examine the things that he have done and really understand that, hey, I really need to switch my life around. And so one thing that I wish that the media would do more often is stop promoting the negative stuff and start promoting the positive. You know, we're human. So as long as we are in flesh, we're going to always make mistakes. We're going to always have things that are not going to be pleasing to the eyes of the people. But that's the reason why I wanted to take the time out to just promote the fact that he took the time out to actually get his life together. And so many of you may know it, many of you may not know it, but Orlando Brown was dealing with an addiction, and it was a drug addiction. And so a lot of times he will lash out on different subjects or things that will cause him, or that will be caused by the drug addiction. And so people made a mockery of it, and people made fun of it. But I want people to understand that the same energy that you gave into that, I want you to put that same energy in his recovery. The fact that he has been recovered. So I looked up, the news article about him going through this transition, and to see him being in church and, going to a faith-based facility to be able to clean himself up and, overcome the circumstances and the obstacles of what he faced and dealing with the drug addiction, to be able to overcome that, I commend him on that. It's absolutely incredible. I love the fact that he took the time out to actually say, you know what, I'm going to clean myself up, not just for the sake of myself, but for also the sake of my wife and my kid. He has his wife, he has his kid, and I'm pretty sure they're celebrating with him along with the rest of us. And so I'm excited to see that he is actually, taking this transformation to heart and, really getting his life together. And I think we need to highlight more positive news like that. When I found out about it, I
Yes.
was overjoyed. I was excited because I'm like, why is this not in the media? Why is this not in the media? Why y'all don't have this on why y'all don't have this on this major platform? This is something to celebrate. He don't went through all of this. Now let's highlight the positive side. So I love the fact that he was able to go through that and overcome his situation.
But I feel like the media doesn't like to see a success story from stars that they don't deem as relevant right now. Now, if he was still spiraling and still doing craziness, they would still put him on the front of media. But I think because he's trying to change everything back around, it's not going to be as celebrated. But I will say this, that there are platforms like you and like yours that do celebrate these type of things, and which is why we want to today to celebrate, people that are doing well in situations that they deemed they were counted out.
No.
That's right. Yeah. So, and you know what? And that's the reason why the Algin brand, those of you that don't know about the Algin brand, just go to my personal page, Algin McCullough. You can find the Algin brand on there. We also share the Algin brand on Gospel Artist Entertainment as well. So you probably have already seen it. Some of you probably haven't. But check it out. But that's why the Algin brand is a platform to highlight only the positive stuff of the celebrities. They don't get many platforms to highlight their positive side. So when it comes down to something like Orlando Brown, who recently gave his life to Christ and who went to a faith-based facility to get the help that he needed and to overcome this addiction, guess what we're going to do? We're going to highlight that. We're not going to highlight the mistakes and the mess-ups that he has done. We're not going to, that's the past. We're going to highlight the positive stuff. And we need more platforms like that. That's why I appreciate your platform, who also highlights the Black culture and the positive stuff, that's going on within the Black community. I think it's absolutely incredible. And I think a lot of people will eventually start to catch on to what we're doing and actually start to connect more with the positive side. I mean, we have enough negative stuff in the world, so why not bring the positive to the light?
It's 100% fact.
Yes.
Algin, you're speaking straight facts. And you know what? I do think that sometimes it's easier to sell stories that sound conflictual or that sound real trifling or sounds like what just happened, and not be able to celebrate even the small positive things and the small victories that we have. And we rather or tear people down for whatever craziness is going on. But if we keep changing that narrative, I do feel like the media is the most powerful thing on this world.
Yeah, it is.
It changes the way that people see things. So what you put out there is what you're definitely going to get back. And that goes for us as a nation. That goes for us as a culture. And, so make sure we just challenge ourselves and just share something positive at least once a day on our platforms. Can we do that?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into this next topic. So Orlando Brown, we're definitely going to say that you're not faking it and that you're definitely doing this for the right reasons. So we definitely well.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about Miss Rihanna Savage Fenty. All right,
I love Rihanna.
that chick. She's that chick.
Yes.
Well, she said open up some Fenty stores, man. How we feeling about that?
You know what? First of all, shout out to Rihanna for becoming a billionaire. She is a boss, okay? She is a boss. She knows how to create. She knows how to stay relevant. She knows how to, she knows how to present herself in such an incredible way. Rihanna is a genius at everything that she does. And when I found out that she's opening her own stores, I thought that was an excellent way of, marketing herself and, even, just providing something to the public. I love Black excellence. So what she's doing is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that she is, even though people are waiting for her to put out another album, she's like, you know what? I can put out another album if I want to, but I'm working on something else. You know, I'm working on, and just let me do me. That's what she's doing. She's doing her, and I'm all here for it.
But Aldrin, let me ask you, if she's already a billionaire without doing any more albums, what is the reason that she's gonna now put herself through going through rehearsals, vocal coaching, dealing with songwriters, doing all of that to do music when she's already done so many albums and has won so many awards? What is the benefit and the reason that she would do the music? Just curious.
I mean, honestly, I think the benefit of it would be, I guess, to keep that specific audience. I'm not really sure. It's all about strategy.
Okay.
It's all about strategy and how she strategized. Mm-hmm. If she can continue to do what she, because even if she don't put out any music anymore, she still have music out that people are going to continuously to play.
That's I'm sure the rest of music's like lifetime. You know what I'm saying? She definitely goes up there with one of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not the vocalist, but she understands her ears really great for good songwriting and putting melodies and tones together that is unmatched. I definitely feel like she's special. But I feel like she's accomplished all that I feel like she wanted to with music, which is why she's not in a rush to put nothing else back out there.
She's you know why she's not in a rush? Because she knows that her audience isn't going anywhere. So the moment that she put it out, they're gonna go crazy over her music. Some people just have that type of influence. Some people have you have people like Beyonce, you have people like Jay-Z and Diddy and DJ Khaled and Drake and Kanye West and Rihanna, who can literally put out, they don't need any pre-planning or anything. All they have to do is just drop something, and they know their audience is automatically going to be there because they have set such a great reputation for themselves. Even if they don't ever come out with any music, guess what? They can come out with a panty line. They can come out with a sock line. They can come out with some type of clothing line, whatever it is, and they will sell millions on top of millions because of their name and their influence. So it's all about strategy. It's all about how you build yourself, how you market yourself, and can you keep the audience engaged. That's period.
That's period.
Yes.
But keep this in mind. I'm going to bring Miss Melissa on here, and I'm going to ask her, the question is going to be influence versus celebrity. And I want to know if there is, and I want to know where the difference actually, where it actually differentiates. Because just like you said, that audience, you can be able to drop anything and be able to sell. But does that go under influence, or does that make you a celebrity, or are you just an influencer? I'm
gonna let Melissa answer that.
All right, let's see. Let's get her on here. Oh, there she go.
Hi.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Welcome to Black Culture, the Breakdown.
This is awesome. I'm loving it.
I appreciate it. It's your first time on here. We got Mr. Aldrin McCullough on here from Gospel Artist Entertainment. We're just tapping into this real question before we get into who you are. What is the difference to you for influence and celebrity, if there is a difference?
Well, influence, you really have the power to make a change and to really change the market. Celebrity, anyone can be known, but influence changes the money. You have that coin influence to really change the market. I think there is a difference.
Yeah.
Like Rihanna has both. Rihanna can do whatever she wants. There's that difference. But I think there's been that blurred line here because people want to be an influencer. And you can buy influence, you can buy followers, you can buy these things, and the line has been blurred on like network television where they think, oh well, this person is the influencer, so that's gonna translate to followers, that's gonna translate to viewers, and that's not the same thing. So you have to be very careful. Celebrity, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. You can be known for something, but if you have the true power of influence, your followers and your community is going to invest in you. And that's true capital power.
And that's true.
But it takes time. It takes time to nurture that community. Like, it was interesting last week when Instagram and Facebook went out. And I jumped on Twitter and I said, I hope everyone who is freaking out about this is starting their newsletter right now. Because for me, I didn't sweat a damn thing because I have my community, because I have my weekly newsletter, Elevated Living. That's where I communicate with my community. That's where I communicate with my customers. That's my bread and butter. Instagram, Facebook, that's the icing on the cake. But if you do not have your community, your followers on Instagram and another platform buying into you, you don't have influence.
Right.
You have to have your list, your email list. That's your true influence. Those are people that have bought into you. That's people that are listening to you, that are following you offline, that are invested in your brand, invested in you, not on Instagram. Anyone can like you. But when you have true commerce, when you have true power, that's the influence. That's the money.
That's the
Doesn't matter. They can know you. They can tune in and see me on Today's Show and eat. That doesn't matter. But when they click subscribe to my newsletter, that's when I know that they're following me.
Okay. And you know what? Let me add to this. And you know what? And I agree with you 1,000%. And you are absolutely right. I feel like Facebook and Instagram, the crashing of Facebook and Instagram really tested us.
Oh, yeah.
It was
I didn't sweat a thing, though, but it was good.
It was a test. And it goes to show that, okay, do we really rely on only just social media? What is our backup plan? Because what if social media just completely goes away? Guess what? We still got emailing. We still got, we should have other resources, websites. So I agree 100%. Like, it definitely tested us.
There was the thing that back in the day, you used to have your website. Like, I still have my website. But also, are you diversifying? This is the thing with Rihanna. She's diversified her income to include Fenty. As entrepreneurs, as hosts, we can get into this in a minute. What are you doing to diversify your income right now? What other products are you using to diversify your brand and platform? Even Instagram is great, but Pinterest is a wonderful drive to get people to your website. Pinterest has more wealthy women that subscribe to Pinterest more than any other platform. They are the decision makers in the household that are driving income to websites more than any other platform out there. And that is a missing platform. So every piece of content that I make on Instagram, I recut it and put it on Pinterest. And that has driven my traffic up 60% in the last month. Boom.
Wow.
And you know what? People sleep on Pinterest. A lot of people.
They do.
A lot of people sleep on a lot of other platforms. They just think Instagram is the end all be all.
No. And this is the other thing. When you're talking about hosting, so many hosts are like, I want that big job at NBC. I want that big job at E. But you have a contract for 6 or 7 years and you can be replaced like that. What else do you have? What other projects do you have that feeds your soul outside of being a network person? So we'll talk about this in a minute, but you have to diversify your income. Rihanna knows that she won't always be a dancer. She won't always sing. She will have Fenty. But as a whole, what else are you doing to diversify? And I think that's something that as entrepreneurs that we must do to really grow our wealth and grow our influence. You see Jay-Z and Beyonce, they have their hands in plenty of different pockets. You see Ciara recently got her hands into rum. You know what I mean? It's like, watch out. It's your hands are in crypto. Your hands are in this. Like, I also do pottery. Like, that's my little side business that has been a wonderful little moneymaker for me. So it's like, there's other ways that I like to diversify my income besides just hosting and styling. So I think that's something for everyone to consider. In 2022, what we learned in this pandemic, what else can you do to grow and make that extra money to build your influence and grow your financial power?
Absolutely. Melissa, you already came on here swinging and ready dropping gems. Okay. Aldrin, my brother, thank you so much for coming on. and we'll definitely see you soon. Again, tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. Y'all can go and find me, of course, at Gospel Artist Entertainment, Gospel Artist ENT, and also my personal page, Aldrin McCullough. All right. So don't be adding no extra, letters and stuff, numbers. It's just Aldrin McCullough, so make sure you go follow me, stay connected, and I would love to connect with you as well. Thank you so much, Jersey, for this. It's so great meeting you, Melissa. I appreciate you so much, Jersey, for this platform. Absolutely incredible, man.
Of course. Well, I appreciate you. And if you guys are not following Aldrin, make sure I go ahead and do that. His platform, again, is the biggest gospel platform in the world. So tap in with Gospel Artist Entertainment. All right, Aldrin, we'll definitely talk soon.
Appreciate it, man.
This is man. So, Melissa.
Hi.
All right, okay. So, official coach the breakdown. So, that was, Aldrin that comes in ever so often. We just talk about whatever's going on in pop culture, and we break everything down.
I like it. It's cool.
Definitely appreciate that. But let's get into you. You are also someone that is a part of this culture and give commentary and been able to build a brand. Talk to us about who you are and what you do.
Well, I am a fashion correspondent and host. I've been on Access Hollywood for 2 years. I'm on Today Show. I'm on E. I basically talk a lot about fashion. I help people improve their style. I do a lot of makeovers. And I love it. That's what I do. So I put together a lot of television segments, and we talk a lot about fashion and hosting. And so I've been really grateful to be on a lot of incredible shows and share that platform.
Now,
be on a lot of different platforms, on national TV. Yeah.
And the fact that you've been able to accomplish, so much. Talk to us about just that journey. How did you get into the game? Somebody just said, I need help. So tell us, how did you get into it?
Well, I started way back when as a stylist, as a style assistant, and I knew that I wanted to be on camera. So what I did is I actually had a corporate job, a really serious corporate job. And so I would work and do my sales calls during the day, and then I would stop and I would go assist stylists at night. And then when I'm talking about stylists, like Dave Thomas, who like dresses Lionel Richie and Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. So I would work with him and all these other people and assist them and do this at night. Cut to, I would look at every opportunity possible to just take any job. So I would look at Craigslist. This is back in the day, like 2008, 2009, and look at Craigslist and look at red carpet opportunities and just jump in to see like, oh, I'll host, I'll do that red carpet, and just jump and do red carpets. That's how I started. And then there's this website that was called.
Wait, but this is without experience. He just was like, I'm gonna just go and just do it.
Yeah. This is the thing. There's this, like, you just jump in and do it. You fake it so you make it. I would just jump in and host. And then I put a hosting reel together. I took hosting classes and put a hosting reel together and just cut the hosting reel and just put it out there. Yeah. And it led to more opportunities and led to more opportunities. And there you go. I mean, that's kind of that's what started it. And there you go. But there's this misconception that you need a really fancy hosting reel or you need an agent. I was booked on Access Hollywood with no agent at all. I just consistently sent out my hosting reel to the managers or to the producers and just booked it. So don't feel like you need to be this big host to do it. Just consistency. Send it out to the producers, look them up on social media, and just do it.
Do it.
You don't need representation. That's just if everyone out there is listening, you do not need a rep to get on national TV. Just do it.
You realize, if anybody's listening to anything I'm saying, this what you don't need is a rep.
That's what you don't need. You don't need an agent. Do it yourself.
I think that goes for every, I used to dance a lot, and I've danced for a few artists. I do hosting. I do a whole bunch of different things, and I don't have representation. in the beginning, when I'm coming into it, and just in anything in entertainment, I was also told you need to have an agent, you have to have a manager, you have to have like this massive team to be able to book different gigs, roles, or whatever. But as you actually get into this new era and this new age, as long as you know how to manage your own self, you can kind of basically represent yourself. I think like that is genius advice that you just gave, because a lot of people get defeated because they're like, I don't know nobody, so I'm just not even going to bother trying. But
one thing that you need is a good attorney. Find yourself an attorney to look over contracts for you, but you don't need a manager. Just get a good attorney. That's what I say.
All right.
Get a good attorney. Because the manager is supposed to be your attorney that looks over your contract. So that's it.
All right, so let's jump into this now. What was your first professional gig?
That was with goeho.com, and that was a website that existed, and I covered all the red carpets for them. And it was a wonderful opportunity. It gave me an opportunity to go to Sundance, and I covered Sundance for several years, and that was just, it was amazing. I did a lot.
Yes.
Okay, Sundance. Okay, so all right, so now as a Black woman, do you feel like you have to watch what you say when you're doing commentary? Like now that you're like in these spaces that are definitely, I would say diverse, but predominantly not people of color, but still diverse nevertheless.
No, you have to watch yourself, period. Like, okay. I grew up, okay, like we're in the age of social media, and I grew up when I was in college, we didn't have social media. I'm aging myself a little bit. And if we had social media in college, I may not be sitting here right now. That's what I'll say. So be mindful of what you put out into the world. Be mindful of the pictures you take and what you say on Twitter. Like, these things do come back. Yeah. So you just have to think of how you present yourself at all times. It will come back. So I'm conscious of how I present myself, how I present my brand, the people I surround myself with. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, whatever. If you want to work in the corporate space, let's face it, network TV is corporate. The people sitting at the top of 30 Rock are corporate. So it doesn't matter if it's NBC, ABC, Fox. These are the decision makers. You are representing their company. So be considerate of what you say and how you present yourself. They are looking at everything. So, did I lose you? Just be mindful. It's facts. It doesn't change if you are, it doesn't mean like, if it's BT, it's more casual. It's still owned by the same entities. Okay. It doesn't change. Think of everything like you're running for office.
Definitely. All right. So then now, let me ask you this now. With all the shows that you've done, what has been your favorite so far that stands out to you? Which one stands out to you?
I love every show that I've been on and every opportunity, but my Daily Pop family at E it's really fun. It's really fun and laid back. But I do love my Access Hollywood family like so much too. Like Kit Hoover and Scott Evans and Sibley Skulls, like they're my heart. Like I learned so much with that team, and then obviously I love Jeff and Sylvester and Morgan. So like I love everyone. But like that NBC family, they're my home. So I love them.
All right, super dope. So now let me also ask you this. What show was the most challenging to do? Like, oh my God, it's super difficult to memorize all the stuff. Which one?
Well, everything during pandemic is challenging. So I love the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna, but everything during pandemic via Zoom, you don't have that like intimacy of being in person. And I miss that. Like, I just want to hug Hoda, but it's so hard when you're via Zoom and you don't have that connection. It's very challenging. I'll say that.
Now, let me ask you, has the pandemic made you feel like, I can put together, like, would you ever consider doing your own media situation?
That is my own media situation. During pandemic, I'll say this. It made me a better host, a better producer, because during pandemic, I was shooting my own footage. I was shooting anything that you saw on TV, national TV. I was shooting my own models at home. I was styling that at home. I was shooting my own footage. I would edit the footage, send it to Today Show. So I did everything. So anything that you saw, anything that you still see in E, I shoot, edit, produce, style, the whole thing, and I host it. So being now,
Yeah.
it's you have to be your own boss. So it's made you like I'm booked all the time because I know how to do all of it.
Okay.
It has made me a better host and a better producer, and I can shoot my own show now. So it's forced me to like up level. To be honest with you, I have I have 3 cameras in the house, 6 lights, Stantons, all the things. I have everything in my studio at home because it's forced me to be a better host and producer and setting up shots for myself. So there is no, I know how to edit my reel, edit my footage. You have to be your own producer and host and shooter. So that's what it's taught me, to be honest with you, because there's no one else to do it. My husband helps me sometimes, but to be honest with you, like you have to do it on your own.
Absolutely. Well, listen, shout out to you for being a hustler. Because you have to be multifaceted, especially in media. You have to know how to produce, write, create, segment everything on your own if you want it to be successful. And on top of that, you have to know how to pivot on a dime when everything you plan doesn't go as planned. You know, so super dope, and congrats to on all those that you've been able to accomplish. So let's play a quick game real quick called Rapid Fire. All right. The question is pretty simple. I'm just going to ask you a question, and you're going to just answer with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. So it's real. Like I'll give you an example. Like I'll say, "What's your favorite color?" and you'll answer
red.
Okay, and that's it.
Okay.
Now, if I say stop and elaborate, then you have to stop and elaborate. But it's going to go really quick, like rapid fire.
Okay, I got this.
Okay. So, what is your dream job?
Hosting my own makeover show on national TV.
Okay. Which job do you feel like has been the most difficult to be a part of?
Ooh. Not really any. I love every job. Sorry. I don't feel like there's a difficult job. Every job is an opportunity.
Okay. Which celebrity have you not met that you are dying to?
Harrison Ford, because I was obsessed with Indiana Jones as a kid.
Okay. Which was your favorite subject in school?
I'm sorry, that's such a bad answer. Maybe biology. I wanted to be a. I wanted to be a doctor at one point, so probably biology.
Oh, okay. Well, in a second, you're about to meet Dr. Keys. All right, 2 more questions. What was the worst job you did in terms of when you went on the show and you were like, oh my God, I bombed that? Which thing you remember was like your worst situation that you thought your performance was?
I feel like I bombed. I think I bombed. It was one segment that I did on Daily Pop that just went awry because the prompter wasn't working and it just wasn't a good segment. And it was just an off day, and I was just like, get me out of here.
Okay. All right, no worries. All right, last but not least, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, well, definitely hosting my own show, being a best-selling author, and just world takeover. Just watch out.
Yes.
Okay. Melissa's about to take over. Melissa World Takeover. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
The World Takeover. Super dope. All right. So now let me ask you this. What's next for you right now? Like what's in the immediate future for Melissa?
Well, I'm diversifying a little bit because with hosting, I will say this. As a host, it's great to have a niche as far as like an expert to help you get on television. And coming from a fashion background, fashion has been my niche. That's helped me get a lot of jobs on camera. But it's also great to diversify. And my mission has always been helping people live a life well styled. And for me, that has been really focusing on what you put in your body, what you put on your body, what you listen to. It's all encompassing living a life well styled. And also what you put in your body is food. So I'm actually getting ready to host my first national cooking segment.
Okay.
This year, I have been focused on becoming plant-based. So I'm sharing a segment for National Vegan Day on Daily Pop. So you're going to see me switch hats and jump in the kitchen very soon.
Okay.
So I'm excited to expand that side of me because a lot of people just think I'm a fashion girl, or I just talk about celebrity fashion, celebrity style, or hosting, and they don't see that I love to cook, and there's a whole other side to me. So I'm very excited to show that I'm just more than a fashion girl.
Okay.
So I'm ready to jump in the cooking side of things.
Well, man, we excited to see you cook.
Yes.
First of all, I love to cook, so I hope you about to make something good.
It's going to be very good. You're going to have to tune in. I will share with you when the date is.
All right, so before we get Dr. Keys on here, I want to ask you this. Has any celebrity ever asked you to not mention their plastic surgery? Have you ever had, as a show or as a segment, be like a celebrity say, we are not allowed to talk about them?
Yes, I've definitely had that.
Again,
I can't say who.
I'm going to get Dr. Keys on here, and then I'm going to get you to answer. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get Dr. Keys on here. Right. Let's get him. There you go.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Dr.
Hi.
Hey, Melissa, nice to meet you.
It's so great to meet you.
Definitely. So Dr. Keys has been on here before. Welcome back, Dr. Keys to Black Culture. This is Melissa. And I just actually asked her, he's a celebrity plastic surgeon, Melissa. So now I just actually asked her if there's been a celebrity that has specifically said not to mention their plastic surgery while having segments on whichever show. And go ahead, Melissa, and give us that answer.
There has been, but I can't say who it's been because the publicist would be mad.
Okay. Okay.
That's funny.
You don't have to tell us the
Yeah.
scenario. Was it something that was like just happened recently and that they knew that you guys were going to be talking about it? Or break down the scenario for us.
It was a celebrity that is pretty known for having a lot of work, and they were in the news for having some more work, and we couldn't bring it up during the interview.
Got it. All right. You're like, yep. That's about all.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say something, and I couldn't stop looking. And it just makes it so awkward.
It's like the elephant in the room, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So now, before I actually let you go, Melissa, I want to actually ask one question to Dr. Keys. Why is it, Dr. Keys? First of all, you're a celebrity plastic surgeon. Tell everybody who you are real quick so they know.
Hey, I'm Dr. Keys. I'm a plastic surgery fellow, actually, and I run a popular Instagram called Celebrity Plastics, which is my brand. I have in my network about 370,000 followers on Instagram, and I talk about celebrity before and afters. I also advertise for plastic surgeons across the world, and eventually, once I'm done with my training, that'll eventually be my brand, which I hope to franchise and become a nationwide brand, focusing on plastic surgery and aesthetics.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So now, let me ask you this question. Why do people get plastic surgery? What is the main reason? Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, so I mean, you can look at it two different ways. So people get plastic surgery, either for aesthetic reasons, to kind of fix a perceived flaw in order to build their confidence, or they can get reconstructive surgery when they've had some kind of trauma, or if they've had reconstruction, if they need reconstruction after like breast cancer, after mastectomies, we can help build their breasts. And so sometimes it's for a functional reason as well. And so a lot of times I do facial plastics where I work on the faces after trauma. If they have a lot of facial fractures, we fix those and plate them and bring them back to normal anatomy so that they have function back to normal, or as close to normal as we can make it. But there's a whole wide range of aesthetics where we're just focused, primarily on making people feel more confident. And so that's the way that I look at plastic surgery.
Got it. Now, Melissa, and do you see? Sure, there's a lot of celebrities that you see all the time. Are you confused about the amount of plastic surgery that they all do?
Am I confused about the plastic surgery that they do?
In terms of, because I feel like sometimes you see them in person and they're a lot different. Plastic surgery is more evident in person than it is on actual camera. So, are you like sometimes? What do you give us your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't necessarily understand why people do it. It's very often traumatic in person. I
Mm.
feel that there's a vision of what they want, and then they go beyond that. It becomes very extreme. I mean, I find because I live east side, the faces look normal, and as I travel closer and closer to Beverly Hills, the faces become more extreme and duck-like. And it's just so ridiculous as I get to Hollywood. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Pardon my French. But it's like you're entering a new alien atmosphere where the cheeks are more fuller and pronounced and the filler is more crazy and the lips are more duck. And it's baffling to me why people are just so it looks almost like a different planet when I get to the west side. So, I come from, listen, as a woman of color, um, I'm blessed with beautiful skin and amazing cheekbones and all these beautiful features of my skin. And listen,
Yeah.
and I have wit, and that's my thing. I do hair. I get hair. So everyone has their thing that they do. I just choose not to mess with God's magic in my face, and that's my prerogative. I just wish women would, and it's very addictive. Yes, I agree, Danny. I wish that there was just some sort of balance. It becomes so extreme where I've seen it just go so beyond in certain areas, especially in Hollywood, especially with interviews. And I'm like, what happened? So I love what you do. And I love that. I think plastic surgery can be transformative. And I do see that it's a self-esteem booster. And I do see that it's necessary, especially for women that have had breast cancer and in trauma and all things that have happened. But I also seen the other side of it where I look at these housewives and these things and I'm like, why? So I feel like there needs to be some middle ground. It becomes, to me personally, it's disappointing where there's a lack of self-acceptance and self-love, and then it goes to this extreme, which makes me disappointed. And I wish there was a little bit more of self-acceptance and self-love before they went this route.
Now, let me ask this real quick, Dr. Keys, and that was a great point, Melissa. Why do people go extreme, Dr. Keys? Because I do think that those people that she's talking about have not just been through one surgery and then they're done. It usually
Yeah.
be a situation that becomes perpetual and repetitive, and then extreme. So why does it end up going that far? What is the obsession with continuously getting plastic?
So I would say that, the vast majority of people who get plastic surgery don't exhibit, that type of behavior. And so they say about 30% of people who do get plastic surgery have a condition called body dysmorphic disorder, or basically where they are obsessed with a perceived flaw and, it may be imperceptible to people like you and I, but, they just get obsessed with one particular part of their body. A classic example is Michael Jackson with his nose. And so, those types of people feel, they're constantly looking in the mirror, they can have confidence issues. There can be underlying psychiatric conditions like depression or anxiety. And they, for whatever reason, get fixated on a body part and they keep wanting people to change it. And so, going along with what Melissa said, there's it's our responsibility as providers, as plastic surgeons, that we should be able to say no if we feel that we're going to cause more harm than good. But the problem is that a lot of these patients are seeing people that are not plastic surgeons or board certified plastic surgeons, and they're seeing these like Medi-Spa doctors, or then family doctors who took a weekend course in Botox or fillers and stuff like that. And they're seeing those type of providers who don't have the training that someone like myself has went through, where I went through general surgery as well as a plastic surgery fellowship, in order to really determine what is needed for the patient. And so it's hard for some people to turn down the $1,000 for a filler, for a syringe of filler, and they'll just keep injecting patients to the point that they look crazy. They get that pillow face that's classic that you see in Hollywood. So it's a problem with the patient, but also these unethical providers, in my opinion.
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not satisfied with my booty, so maybe we'll talk. But I also want to be able to sit down.
You just got to pick the right person to do the job for you, and then you'll have a good result.
That's a great point.
Definitely a great point. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for coming on. You were great, and I hope that you will be back on the show at some point.
Thank you for having me.
You got coming on.
Very nice meeting you.
Likewise. Keep crushing it.
Definitely. Well, see you later, Melissa. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you, honey. Bye-bye.
All right. So, Dr. Keys.
What's up, Jersey? Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, man. Welcome back to Black Culture, man. We're back for season 3. It's episode 2. I know you were on here for season 2, and we had a great time. I'm having a little bit of difficulties today with the Instagram and trying to get these pictures up. I don't know why. Maybe you can actually help me. Do you know how to get these Instagram photos up when you're on live?
I don't know if you have like a different, like a laptop or something. Maybe you could switch the camera, but then we can't see you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would be able to have a third slide unless you have like a different phone or something that you could stream that on.
I know, man. It's just insane. I'm trying to. Okay. I don't know. There used to be a button you can upload the photos, and I don't know what happened to it. I guess Instagram decided to get rid of it. You guys, we had a super dope game planned out for you, and we were going to show you guys different people and be able to dissect some of the procedures they went through, but we can't necessarily access that right now, Instagram. No. But it's okay. We're going to keep it going. And I'm going to ask this now. Why do celebs lie about why they get enhancements? Talk to us about that, Dr. Keys.
Well, I think plastic surgery used to be really taboo back in the day, and kind of people really only associated with like older celebrities who got these like facelifts that were very dramatic, and those people had to admit that they had plastic surgery because they looked so different before and after. And so there was some element of it being a little taboo. And I think back in the day, it was also easier to lie about plastic surgery because there was no accountability. Like people weren't able to look at before and after photos as easy as they are able to do that now, And so nowadays you have accounts like mine or like, Dana's page, IG Famous by Dana, which shows celebrities before and after because, now there's cameras everywhere. And so you can have these, unedited paparazzi photos that you can really compare how celebrities' appearance has changed over time. And so I think nowadays people are starting to embrace it a little bit more. But you still have celebrities who still refuse and say that they lost weight and they got this big butt now, and it's really controversial. And I think it really leads to body dysmorphia amongst young women. And so that's a huge topic that we could talk on and on about. But
definitely. So, and listen, let's get into this real quick. All right. Headline: Jordan Woods faces major backlash for showing before and after weight loss pictures. Okay.
mm-hmm.
He's putting it all on that she really exercised and diet to be able to clear that weight out. But everyone is speculating that she actually had major plastic surgery because her body looks almost too perfect. Talk to us about if you think that's fake or if you think it's real news.
So I saw the photos that you sent me in preparation for this, and I personally think that she did lose a lot of weight. She did lose a lot of weight. However, she's definitely had some enhancements done. Like, she's definitely had a BBL, because when you lose weight everywhere in the body. You don't just lose weight from one area. It's impossible to just lose weight from one area. You just use dieting and exercising. And so, for her to kind of lose weight from her face and her tummy, but then all of a sudden get a nice, well-proportioned butt, that seems to be a little much to ask, just from weight loss.
So she was lying.
In my opinion, yes, she's lying. But I'm not her doctor. I can't really say if she's had any work done, but me, from my experience and looking at, people and being in the field itself, to me, she's had work done.
All right. So everybody that's basically been supporting, she has a fitness app that just came out. She launches the app and said, like me, you just follow what I'm selling on here, so this is where it gets tricky, and you just went into body dysmorphia. Let's talk about that real quick. How are these girls supposed to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and feel okay with themselves if there's a false narrative that's being pushed? If it was honest, I think it would be more respected. But if they're being deceived, people are lying about what their bodies actually look like behind closed doors and selling a dream. Talk to us about what your thoughts are on that and body dysmorphia.
Yeah, and that's a big problem that we've been seeing, is that people are having, plastic surgery and then attributing the results to something else. And so you can have celebrities that are, hawking a skincare line that get Botox and fillers and lasers and everything to have a really nice appearance. But then they're saying that it's the result of their skincare line. Or you can have, these patients who get these BBLs, and then they're selling their weight loss products or their fitness apps and stuff like that. And so that is a huge problem because people don't know the difference. And unless you're in the field of plastic surgery, you may just believe them. It's a lot easier to believe someone, especially if you follow them and you look up to them. You're going to really listen to what they're saying and don't automatically assume that they're deceiving you. And so, I think it is a problem, and they're saying that body dysmorphia is increasing, especially amongst young women. And that's actually one of the lead articles on CNN today, is talking about body dysmorphia in young women. But I think that the Gen Z population, like the TikTok population, they're being more open about undergoing procedures. And so hopefully that can change the paradigm. And, hopefully people will be more open about getting plastic surgery.
Well, let's definitely talk about that. Generation Z. Everybody's getting plastic surgery like they giving it out at the supermarket. I'm very confused.
Yes.
Like, do you recommend 21, 20, 22, 19-year-olds getting major plastic surgery?
It depends on what you're talking about, major. And so, if a girl has like a crooked nose and a really, big dorsal hump, and she's really concerned about it, she's been made fun of by her friends, and she's just really affecting her. And if she gets a nose job at like 18, 20, whatever, I think that's perfectly fine. But if you're talking about, getting like massive surgery where you're having like these huge BBLs and stuff, that may not be the trend, 10 years from now, right? I mean, the ideal aesthetic changes over time. And if you look throughout like the decades, like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, people's appearances of what they thought looked beautiful is completely different than it is what it is today, right? And so 10 years from now, big butts may not be in. Like, they might go back to smaller butts. And then now you're stuck with a big butt that you can't easily get rid of. And so that could be a problem.
But now, let me ask you, do you see a shift in the BBL trend? I see that Kim Kardashian is not necessarily looking how she used to look the second or third time.
Yeah.
So it's now going back to a more, smaller frame. Talk to us about the trend and how it's changing.
I completely agree. I think the BBLs are getting more refined because people don't want that, like, diaper butt appearance or the ants life kind of appearance where they have that big, large butt that's, completely not proportionate and not really realistic. People don't get those naturally. And there's also an issue where if you inject too much fat in the butt, you can get these lumps and you can get a lot of cellulite. And underneath the clothes, it doesn't look nearly as nice as what you would imagine it to be if it was more natural and more subtle. And so I think that the paradigm is shifting to so that, people are looking for more natural results, where it's not over the top like they have been doing with the Kim Kardashians, the Cardi B's, et cetera.
But now let me ask you this: the Kardashians set the trend for plastic surgery.
A lot of trends, definitely.
Definitely. So now that Kim is kind of downsizing, now let me ask you: they have never publicly admitted to doing like a BBL or anything like that. I know they've mentioned like little things, fillers, but I guess that's like the not so taboo thing, so we can admit to that. But they will not, under any circumstances, admit that they've actually had BBLs or lipo and fat transfers and all that type of stuff done. What is the situation on that, and why is it that Kim started to make a transition to looking a little bit more refined?
So I think that the trend is shifting away from that big, large bottom because I think, gravity wins, right? Gravity's always going to win. And so when you have these patients with these massive overfilled butts, as they get older, all of that's going to sag and it's going to look horrible, in my opinion. And so I think that she's getting older. She's no longer, in her early 30s or anything like that. She's had multiple kids and she's getting older. And so I think she wants a more classic, refined appearance rather than being known only strictly for her butt. And so, I think the trend is going to shift away from that, definitely. And I think that she just never has admitted to it because, she's denied it for so long. Why would she admit to it now? It would cause more controversy than anything. So we might as well just stick to what the original story was and just ride that out.
But even if it's like obvious?
Yeah. Even if it's obvious, there's people that still will deny that to the grave.
Wow, interesting. Now, in terms of her younger sister, Kylie, do you see what is the influence that Kim has on the plastic surgery market versus Kylie? And then do you see a transfer of power in terms of they obviously know that they set the trends and then they beauty icons, you know what I'm saying? And they all of these products and snatchable waist this and contour that, you know what I'm saying, to make them appear to look like them. What do you see in terms of the transfer of power, and what is the influence that Kylie now has on this generation when it comes to plastic surgery?
I definitely think that Kim is eventually going to transfer power to Kylie if it already hasn't happened already. Kylie, I think, really popularized the lip fillers and the filler trend. I mean, when her lips just changed from having like nothing to very full lips, I think that really like blew up the industry. And I mean, we had women from all ages asking about filler, especially since it's non-invasive, it's minimal downtime or zero downtime really, and it's just something that you can get on your lunch break at work and then come back and work the rest of the day. And so she really popularized the non-invasive stuff, but she's also obviously had work done too. Like she's totally had a BBL. She's totally probably had like a mommy makeover, breast implants, and so forth. But I think that they will continue to lead with the trends of plastic surgery. And, if there's any new procedures that come out, I'm sure they're the first ones to try it out and anything to keep that competitive edge over anyone else.
So now, like, how painful is plastic surgery? They, like I said, they just do it so frequently, like it almost seems like, oh, anybody can do this, right? Because then, when do they even have downtime? I feel like they're always in the media. I never see them bandaged up. Nobody ever sees them bandaged up. How painful is plastic surgery? What's the recovery time?
So most plastic surgery, surprisingly, the downtime is very minimal. I mean, I would say the most invasive ones are like anything we do for reconstructive purposes, like if we're rebuilding mandibles and stuff like that. But that's beyond this discussion. I think, the most painful procedure that's generally done is probably a tummy tuck because we have to kind of placate the rectus or the ab muscles together. And we use big sutures to kind of draw the muscles tight, and we're stretching a lot of skin, and that can be very painful. And they have about a couple weeks of downtime. But for the most part, plastic surgery is pretty well tolerated because we're only working on skin and soft tissue, and those don't have like the huge recovery periods like if you're working on bones, for example. And so
Uh,
a lot of times these celebrities, they'll go on like a vacation and then they'll have old photos that they can upload, to social media. So it looks like they're still doing stuff, but they're really taking that time to recover. And I think a perfect example of that is Kylie when she was pregnant. Remember, she had her birthday party, and like TikTok figured out that it wasn't really the same pictures being taken that day because she was wearing like different nails and stuff. Like they did like a whole bunch of detective work, but basically what the celebrities do is they just upload old photos or old videos that they've taken just to make it seem like they're up and about, but they could really be having their downtime.
now that's actually quite interesting, and it's like that's even they say believe what you see and not what no they say believe what you see and not what you hear, but I feel like sometimes what you see isn't always what it is either. It can also be
Yes,
misleading.
absolutely.
In saying even when it comes to plastic like a lot, and you may think it's real. Now let's talk about that. How often do people actually achieve that plastic surgery success where it looks really natural? Nobody knows that they've actually had any work done. And how many people do you think walk around with plastic surgery that we just probably don't have a clue about?
I think, I mean, if we're talking celebrities, I would say almost all of them have had something done. And if we're talking, and that's including something like Botox and fillers and those kinds of things,
Mm,
I think almost all of them have had some kind
mm,
of work done. I mean, if you look at anyone, like if you look at their before and after, before they got famous to now that they're famous, everyone has had some type of work done. And I think it's just part of the industry at that point. Their job is to look the best. Their job is to have that image of
mhm.
success and everything. And so and there's a lot of resources, like they can ask their fellow actor friends or fellow celebrities, who do they go to? And there's plenty of people out there that are doing work. And so I would say the vast majority. And then we're talking about the regular population, you know, you'll be surprised how many people get work done. I mean, our offices are always busy. And so, yeah, there's no shortage of work.
Got it. All right. So, quick question for you. Would you ever get work done?
Yeah, I mean, I get Botox. I've had filler done, not anywhere in my lips or anything like that, but I've had filler put in my chin before. Um, but I haven't had any kind of like surgical work. But you know, that's never off the table. Like maybe when I'm older, if I got like loose hanging skin, I can always get a facelift in the future. You know, that's always a possibility. But you know, I like to stay looking useful, and I think a lot of the non-invasive stuff like Botox and fillers and stuff, those are more for preventative measures. And so, you know, I'm in my early 30s, I'm 34, and I don't really have like heavy wrinkles on my forehead um, because you know, to try to take care of myself, I try to get Botox regularly. I take, you know, good care of my skin as much as I can and put sunscreen on, even as a person of color. It's very important to put sunscreen on because that ages you. And so the more sunscreen you put on and keep it consistent, then, you know, the more you can kind of prevent early aging.
So now let me ask you, what is in Botox and fillers? What is inside of it?
So Botox is a neurotoxin, actually. It's a botulinum toxin that kind of paralyzes muscles. And so you're just getting a really small dose of that toxin that paralyzes the muscles, and it just kind of weakens the muscles so that they're not contracting to form these wrinkles, you know? And
Got
so
it.
that's what's in Botox. And that's why if you do it regularly before you have wrinkles, then it can help prevent wrinkles because, you know, once you develop wrinkles, it's really hard to treat other than getting, you know, fillers to fill in like these resting lines that you may have. And in fillers, it's really, there's different types of fillers, but the most commonly used one is hyaluronic acid.
Okay. I'm over here
That's just
looking
a
at you about.
natural. Uh-oh. I see you looking like, yeah, frown for me, raise your eyebrows. There you go. Yeah, see those are the wrinkles starting to develop, man. It might be time for some Botox.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Man,
teasing.
I'm scared of shots. I'm scared of needles. Like, I don't even know how that would even work for me. Now, let me ask you this. What other preventative measures other than plastic surgery can people do to not get wrinkles? How about that?
That's a great question. So skincare is super important, and the worst thing for your skin in general is the sun, by far. And so, you know,
Mm,
you need a good skincare regimen. So you need to have a good cleanser. You need to use a good retinol product. And so retinols kind of increase, you know, skin turnover, and it helps kind of even out the texture of your skin. And it also can help with some fine lines and wrinkles as well. And then the biggest thing, in my opinion, is sunscreen. And so they have some new sunscreens out that are tinted for people of color. And so I use an Elta ND product, the clear SPF 30, and I use it, you know, before I start my day. And then you should even apply it, even if you're staying inside. If the windows are open, you're still getting, you know, UV radiation that can age you. And so even, you know, I recommend people of color start using sunscreen.
definitely. All right, so I'll definitely use sunscreen. I never use sunscreen. I just don't use it. But maybe
Yeah, I
now.
used to never do it either, you know, because I was like, you know, I'm colored, so I got some protection, but it's really not that much protection if you think about it when it comes to aging. And so if you start, you know, we already have natural protection just being people of color, but
Mm.
if you add the sunscreen on top of that, it's a game changer.
It's a game changer. All right, definitely going to consider that. So now, last question, but I want this to really be something that people always like. It's taboo to talk about because Michael Jackson's never admitted it. But let's get into the King of Pop. Michael Jackson has obviously gotten some work done. And I don't think he's ever admitted all of the work that he's gotten done. In your professional opinion, what are some of the things that you know for a fact he's gotten done?
Well, number one, he's had multiple rhinoplasties to the point where the underlying cartilage got destroyed. Like he had what we call a saddle nose deformity, where the cartilage is kind of collapsed, and he loses the structure to his nose. And so that's why towards the end of his life, he just had, terrible appearance to his nose. He was wearing those bandages and everything like that, because he's had it operated on so many times. I suspect he's also had like a chin implant placed before, because he never had like that dimpled chin, and then he now had some, and you can kind of cut some of the muscle here to try to simulate that. And then, he's definitely had probably Botox and fillers and those kinds of non-invasive things. But it's very unfortunate, what he went through. And, I think it really speaks to the problems of body dysmorphia that we talked about. And unfortunately, with people like him who have like almost limitless money that they can throw to people, even if one surgeon is ethical and says, hey man, like, listen, you've had a bunch of surgeries on your nose, like you can't take anymore, there's always going to be the next guy who, was like, sure, I'll take that money. I'll give it a shot. And then, then you have complications arise.
Now, let me ask you, was there any way that he could have came back from his plastic surgery botchness? Was there any way that he could have reversed any of that stuff in your professional opinion, or you think it was a done deal?
I think when it's that far gone, I mean, we do total nasal reconstructions on people who like lose their noses from trauma or like, from cancer. We can do like flaps where we take some of the skin from the forehead and bring it down. But I mean, his whole nose was almost collapsed, and he would need new cartilage from other sources like the ribs and stuff. And so it would have been a very, very challenging case for him to get that reversed. And it would never look like it did before. It wouldn't look like a natural nose. It would definitely look like it had, work done on it before.
Wow. Well, all right. Well, anybody that just was thinking that Michael Jackson woke up like how he was looking, it was not the case. All right. No longer functional. Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Keys, so much for coming on here, man, and giving us the real scoop like you always do. I'm disappointed that we were not able to get the pictures up so we could play the games that we had in store for everybody today. But of course, it was a productive conversation. I feel like we learned a lot. We talked about it a lot, and just understanding the new generation, the new thing of BBLs. If there's anything that you want people to go away with on this conversation, what is it that you want them to know about plastic surgery?
I think that, they should go see a board certified plastic surgeon. You can go on the American Society of Plastic Surgeons and you can look up your surgeon before you go for a consultation. Make sure that you're aware of their credentials and that they're actually good at what they do. I think that wearing sunscreen is important that we discuss, even if you're a person of color. I think it's one of the best things that you can do to minimize aging. And then I think that everyone should go check out me on Instagram. You can follow my business at Celebrity Plastics, or you can follow my personal IG at Dr. Keys.
Okay, yeah, I heard what he said. Okay, not working. You know what? I heard what I was supposed to say yes, but sound effect died for the night. Listen, Dr. Keys, thank you so much for coming on again, and like I said, giving us the 100% scoop on everything celebrity plastics. Make sure you guys go follow his pages. He has 3 of them, and collectively has been over how many followers?
About 370,000.
Okay, that's a lot and counting. Okay, so make sure you guys. Oh, question: what is a brand of sunscreen? for Black people?
So I use Elta MD. I think that they have a clear UV, SPF 30 that has a little bit of a tint to it, and it looks good. It goes on easy, and it doesn't leave a white cast that some of these like older sunscreens have done in the past. And so I recommend that you check that out.
100% facts. All right, I'll definitely be checking that out as well. Again, Dr. Keys, thanks for coming on. We'll definitely have you back on again. We love shows like this. And eventually, we'll be able to not be on Instagram and have a platform that we can actually put our pictures up.
Thank you so much, Jersey. I love being on Black Culture The Breakdown, and I love what you do, man. Keep it up.
Of course, man, no problem. And we love what you do. And we'll definitely be tapping in to see who you got to discuss next on Celeb Plastics.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night. All right. So, everybody, that was Dr. Keys, CEO and founder of Celeb Plastics. So, again, thanks so much for tuning into Black Culture The Breakdown. Catch me 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday right here on my Instagram Live. If you're not following me, hit the follow button. It's free. All right. And then on top of that, make sure you follow Gospel Artist Entertainment. Thank you so much. The largest gospel platform in the world. Dr. Keys, thank you so much. You gave us a whole bunch of insight on what's going on in this plastic surgery game. And again, Melissa, you gave us a whole bunch of breakdown and knowledge on how to get into entertainment and hosting media. And your boy Jersey, I will see y'all next week, Black Culture The Breakdown. Good night.